Alright, so welcome to this video tutorial for how to use the Openshot video editor for use with the Lightboard videos. So you'll see here I've got the Openshot editor already open. And what we want to do is we want to take video that we've captured from the Lightboard and convert it into something that is not backwards and that looks a little nicer. So when you get into the software, you'll notice that we've got a box up here, and this is going to have your project files, any transitions you want to use, and any effects that you want to apply to the video. And then down here you have your multiple tracks that you want to combine together. So because we're just doing simple edits for right now, we only need to worry about a single track. But the first thing that we need to do is we need to bring in the raw video file that you got from the camcorder. So you've copied that off of your SD card somewhere on your computer, and you want to go up here to import files, and we want to go to wherever you copied that to and grab that video file. And so that video file is now over here in your project files, but what we need to do to add it to our video is we need to click and drag it down here, and you'll see that it pops up over here. And so this is our little video preview that we can see like how things are going. And so if I hit play here, you can see that you can see smudges in the glass. You can see that the backdrop isn't completely like black, and these markers over here were designated as a way to tell the presenter, hey, don't draw past these, and some of those got into the shot. But like if you remember, as like if you've watched this video, as he gets to go further into this video and he starts to write, the writing was over here, and you'll notice here if we skip forward a little bit, his writing is backwards, and we want to fix that. So that's the first thing that we want to fix. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our cursor all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to right click, and we're going to click transform. And when we click transform, we can see that these little dots show up in our video preview, and all we want to do is grab this one on the left and drag it over to the right. And that's as simple as what it takes to flip our video. So now if we hit play again, we can see that he's now writing on the other side. Now if you notice a little lagginess in the video right here, that's fine, because this is a video preview, so your computer is trying to do all of the effects on the fly. Whenever you're finished and you save this as a video, it won't have that lagginess. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning again. So we fixed the flip that needed to happen, but we can still see all of these smudges, and we can still see we don't get a non-uniform background. So we go over here and we click effects, and what we want to work on is we want to work on the brightness and contrast of this video. So we grab that and we drag it down to our video, and we see this little B shows up here. So we click that, and this gives us our brightness and contrast settings. These are just, we can just drag these. And so as I drag the contrast up, you can see that the background becomes more black, and there's a balancing act here. So we can bring the brightness down a little bit and bring the contrast up, and find a point that looks good to you. We may need to work on some lighting placement, because this corner is really hard to fix, and I think the lights are just too close. But that looks pretty reasonable. The other thing that, okay, and we can preview this, and we can see now the background looks a lot nicer. And if we move forward to when he's writing, we can see that the writing still pops. But there's a few things that are still, you know, potentially issues. One of these markings over here, and, you know, depending on how picky you are, this corner can bother you. So again, let's pause this and let's bring the slider back to the beginning, and I'm going to grab another effect. I'm going to grab crop, and I'm going to drop that over here. And now we can see that there's this little C here, and I can click that. And this is auto cropped in some, but I don't want it to crop in everything. So I don't want to necessarily crop anything from the bottom. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to just bring that back to 0. But the left side was where if I take that back to 0, or the right side because we flipped it. If I take that back to 0, that's where these edges show up. So what I want to do is I want to bring my crop up enough that those go away. And I can also use the top crop if I didn't go too high to get rid of any kind of shading issues. And so now we can see that, you know, we got a good black background without those markings. And if we want, we can move forward just to make sure that we didn't crop out any of the material. And we see here, oh, the top got cropped out a little bit. So we want to come back here, and we go back to our crop, and we want to go to the top, and we say, okay, like, let's not crop anything in the top. And so if we go back to this later spot in the video, now everything is here, so everything's fine. Okay, so I think this is a pretty good place for our video to be in, and that didn't take very long. And so what we want to do now is we want to export it in a way that is going to be useful to us. And so if you come up here to this red dot, it says export video. We click that, and this option comes up, and we can put in a file name. So this is like Lightboard tutorial. We can tell it where we want to save it as, and we can pick a profile. And so one of the easiest things to do is to just grab a web profile and then go to the target and do YouTube HD, and it has everything set up for you. You can use the default, or you can pick any of the others, and then you would just hit export video, and it would and it'll run through this, and when it's done, you'll have a file wherever you told it to save the file to that you can just upload straight to YouTube to use for your classes. I hope this was helpful. If you need more information, I'm happy to help. Just let me know.